We are live. I've got Sarah, and I'm going to play a little song for her. Something like this. Oh, it's not that one. My goodness. When was the last time I played this song? Tell me something, girl. Are you happy in this modern world? You need something more. Is there something else you're searching for? I'm falling. In all of the good times, I find myself longing for change. And the bad times, I fear myself. I'm not going to do the high bit. This show's about you, Sarah, not about my singing abilities or anything. But welcome to the show. And my very first question is, why did you choose that song?
Because I always murder it on karaoke. It's my go-to. It's one of those. Saying that, I've never sung it sober, and I'm now a teetotaler, so we'll have to see if I'm brave enough to ever sing in public again. But it's normally my one when you've had a few, you're feeling brave, and you go for it. So
Absolutely.
Thank you for that. That's got me in a really, really good mood. I love that song. It's just a feel-good one that you can belt out, and my kids pretend that they don't like it, but they're always there with me to sing it in the car.
Yeah,
So,
we do. Oh, look, we got a friend here, like Kerry. She's looking forward to
Woo-hoo!
this.
Yes,
I don't know what you've told her or what to expect, but so this is quite strange, right? Because I hope you don't mind me sharing this, but you said, "Oh, I'm really nervous," but look at you, you're bouncing on here. So, Sarah,
I'm excited.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, then, please.
What would you like to know?
Well, who you are, where you live.
Okay.
So
I won't be saying where I live for reasons that will become very obvious fairly soon.
Okay.
So my name's Sarah Jepson. I am the owner of 6 Degrees. I founded the company 6 Degrees, which a lot of people on this call will probably know about, but way back, probably like 10 or so years ago, I started my own marketing agency. So female founder, global aspirations, mother of 4 kids, 2 of which are mine, 2 of which are my stepkids. And I'm putting it out there to the universe, soon to be engaged. Soon to be engaged.
Okay. Does the person know this?
100%. He knows
Right,
that the vibe is out there. Bless him. Yeah, I've been pretty forward at that one. So yeah.
No pressure on him. No pressure.
No pressure at all. No pressure at all.
Okay. So well, let's fingers crossed that happens. That happens.
I've got some good vibes.
Excellent. And 4 children, so that must be fun.
It's all good. We're really lucky, actually. We've got 4 kids, very different ages, from 5 until 16, but they all just get on really, really well. Thank goodness. I think the beauty of it has been is understanding their different personalities and just letting them kind of do their thing. So yeah, it's all good.
And that's the thing, isn't it? Is getting. Now Siri's trying to talk to me.
Siri, she's just like that, isn't she? This is my moment.
Yeah, absolutely. There's loads of people come on to say hello, so let's just say hello to Pavel and Yuna and who's this? Hannah. Hi, Hannah, and Nikki and Sarah. They're all here today to see you and to hear about you. I've got some questions, all right, and then we'll go into a little bit more about 6 Degrees and all that sort of malarkey. Mm-hmm. So the first thing I want to know. Is why do you like LinkedIn?
Why I like it? I think, to be honest, I have rediscovered and fallen back in love with LinkedIn. I'm sure I'm probably not the first person to say that to you, but I think pre-COVID, I was a little bit reluctant, resistant, more of a, I don't know if the right word is a voyeur, like I would watch as opposed to really posting. But I think over the past few years, there's been a shift, and we all know why, probably because of the pandemic. I feel like it's loosened some of its kind of like frosty edges and it's become a bit more personable, a bit more real. So I've become an absolute advocate for LinkedIn. Really majorly, actually. And I'm sure we're going to talk about the reasons why, but I just think it's an amazing platform. But it is like anything, it's what you make of it and how kind of easy you can fall into it. But yeah, I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. You get out what you put in, Sarah. Don't
Exactly,
you?
exactly, Ashley.
And the thing is, I love it when someone says they love LinkedIn. Okay,
I can tell. Look at that smile.
I get people on my workshop right at the beginning of the week, and they hate LinkedIn, and at the end of the week they go, "I love LinkedIn now," or "I'm not quite love it, but I'm getting."
Yeah, they're getting there. They're falling in love with it.
That is the thing. It really is an incredible platform. How often do you post on LinkedIn, Sarah?
Posting wise, probably a couple of times a week. No more than that for me, but our company pages is slightly different. But yeah, for me personally, a couple of times a week is enough for me.
Yeah. Absolutely. And this is the thing. There's LinkedIn trainers out there that say you've got to post multiple times a day, or you've got to post every day. It's got to be sustainable, and you've got to enjoy it. And if you have to post every single day or twice a day or whatever, you will fall out of love with it, and then you'll never use it again. And it's got to be sustainable, hasn't it?
And I've totally learned, for me, just over the past couple of years, the posts that have performed the best for me are the ones where I'm so authentic and personal. When I used to put out posts that were just saying, when I was head of the marketing agency, talking about, oh, look at this website we've done for a client, it would be like ghost town. Yeah, yawny. No one would interact. Exactly. People might as well have done that to me. I was like, I want some attention, and nothing. And then when I actually stepped more into my authentic self and posted about things that I genuinely felt connected to and was inspired by, or shared a little insight into myself, that's when LinkedIn for me just went absolutely crazy. And I think one of the posts I had like 20,000 views, or maybe it's 30,000 by the time it had finished. And that was my most personal post to date. But that shocked me. So there is also sometimes have caution if you put a post out, because you've got to be ready to respond to it, and you've got to understand how quickly something can grow. And I hadn't thought about that when I put it out.
We never do. And that's the thing, isn't it? It is authenticity, because people relate to that. They don't relate to this shiny new website.
Yeah.
But they relate to someone with a story, someone with a passion, someone who's helping other people. So the post that you put on after your big event at the theatre place, give that place a name check, as I can't remember the name of it, but it was an amazing venue.
What's this for? Sorry. Oh, for International Women's Day, for the hall.
Yeah, the hall.
Yeah, that was incredible. That was a turning point for us as 6 Degrees. We had always wanted to put on some, a really, really big event, and that for us was our kind of like pivotal moment in the history of the organization. Yeah. So that was amazing for us.
But the post after that you'd have got a lot of views on that, wouldn't you? Because it was a real thought-provoking, from the heart sort of post. Yeah. And we resonate with that because we've been watching you. We've been watching you setting up 6 Degrees. We've been watching you trying to get people to come and And then that post is sort of like, look, I've done it. And everyone's going, great, we knew you could do it, and you knew you could do it. It was brilliant. And that's what LinkedIn is all about. It's not about pushing that website or that marketing agency.
I think, LinkedIn sometimes has had traditionally a bad rap. The way I see it now is it's community. It's an online community. And I think it's way more authentic than a lot of other platforms that are out there. So no, I'm a really, really big fan, and it will continue to be a huge part of our strategy. And for me as well, as I try and step into more of a thought leadership role and, have more guest speaker gigs like this, then LinkedIn will be huge for me. Awesome.
Right. Have you got business as a result of what you're doing on LinkedIn?
Hell yes.
So not only is it great for community, it's also going to help our businesses grow. So that's brilliant. So
and one of the biggest things actually that we have said to us, both Emily and I, is sometimes we get really, really fixated on how well we believe that post has done, number of likes, comments, and so on and so forth. But there are so many people in my network that have reached out to me and said, I haven't commented or liked but I want to message you directly. Or they'll see me and say, I'm seeing what you're doing. It's amazing. But they haven't liked, shared, or done anything with it. So I think sometimes it's like, yes, the stats are a great indicator on trends and how it's resonating with people, but don't be always so consumed with that, because there are people watching, the lurkers that aren't really doing anything, but they're seeing the content and they're enjoying what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. My answer to that is, you probably saw something on Netflix the other night and thought it was brilliant, but I bet you didn't write to the producer and say that was amazing, or write a message to the actor, oh, your acting was brilliant, or anyone like that, because we just consume that. And I think a lot of people just go on and go, oh, that's good, and read it without doing anything. But they're aware of you, and that's the thing. That's
exactly.
So come on, tell us all about this 6 degrees. It's not like 2 pop groups made up of the 3 degrees and another 3 degrees, is it? So come on, what is it all about? Tell us.
So 6 degrees is a female-only community. The part of the story that I probably haven't got out there yet, because it's something that I've been sitting with how I feel about talking about it. But essentially, if I'll try and condense it and make it easy to understand, I always felt really, really frustrated with the networking that was on offer. I wanted to create something that would bring women together. I wanted to be inspired. I wanted to be around peers. I wanted to be around growth mindset and kind of growth orientated women. Unfortunately, I didn't find that in Exeter. So after 10 years of going out into the networking scene, was like, actually, I'm just going to start my own thing. So that's what we created. But it was all about empowering and being inspiring. So we now have 100 members. Woo, woo, woo. But
I saw the post the other day with your balloons. Well done, you.
I know. I should have brought my helium balloons. They're over there, actually. It's essentially trying to create a community for like-minded women to connect and grow, both personally and professionally. But the real reason that I have set up 6 degrees, and like I say, it's something that I've only just started to share, is I want to create a global community that will then empower women who have experienced or are going through domestic abuse or domestic violence. The thinking and the thought being that I want to create an app or some kind of platform where women can either donate money to a charity, either the charity that I'm setting up or one that we're affiliated with that will empower and help those women, or they can donate their time or services to help women. So if you're a coach, you could say, I want to give 20 hours a year, 2 hours a month, or whatever it is, to help a more vulnerable woman to get back on her feet. Because we know that women generally, and again, I'm making generalizations, I know that every single woman that has become part of 6 degrees would do that in a heartbeat to help somebody else. Having been through group therapy, having sat opposite many women who are bankrupt, who want employment, who want to claw their way out of the situation that they found themselves in, find it extremely hard to do that because of X, Y, and Z reasons. So I want to create a community that acknowledges the depths that this is in society and says, we see you and we're going to do whatever we can to help. So that's what I want to create. And the reason I'm so passionate about that is because I was one of the lucky ones. I created attention marketing to get out of an abusive marriage. And I was able to create my own income stream, pay for my own home and pay for things for my children. There are so many women that do not have that, who are bankrupt, who are trapped. So yeah, it's to create something that will have a huge societal impact, because my belief is if you help that woman get back on her feet, and she'd probably done the bravest thing she could ever do in her life by leaving, we want to keep her away from going back to that torturous relationship. Not only will you change her life, you will change, if she has dependents, you will change the course or potentially change the course for those children. So it's not just the woman or that we're helping, it's way deeper than that. And I'm just really passionate about us being able to do those things, because I think as well, I want the message to be that you can thrive after domestic abuse. I'm not saying, I'm still on my journey. I'm still in healing now. My daughter's having PTSD therapy. My other daughter's had lots of other things too. And it will be a continuous thing for us as a family. But I just want to try and create a beacon of hope. And just play that forward, really, and just help women that need it.
Wow.
So
okay.
that's it in a nutshell.
That's a brilliant nutshell.
But I'm so committed to doing it that I'm now stepping into talking about my own experiences. You know, the end of last year, we talk about LinkedIn and how powerful it can be. On the back of me sharing a post of where I know that I'm still being watched because the father of my daughter, who is not allowed any contact, showed up at one of my events. So it's can still be terrifying. So I'm not someone that's saying I'm completely over this. I'm not, but I want to show people that you still can go on, and I am the happiest I've ever been. I'm thriving. I'm in the most loving relationship that I've ever had in my entire life. But it has taken a lot of graft for me to get here. But I just want to say to women that it's possible. And I want women to envelop each other in like the biggest hug. Imagine one woman being given some coaching, and then she has someone, a domestic abuse friendly employer that will take her in and will cushion her and allow her to grow and thrive, and will give her extra scope to go off and see her children if they're dealing with trauma. Imagine that woman having 10 people, 10 organizations and women that are saying, I've got you. I've got you. If you fall, we're here. That does not exist right now. If you are strong enough to get out of your relationship, which normally takes you 7 times of going to and froing, to then try and rebuild yourself when you're already at rock bottom and you can't find any resources, you can't find an employer that wants to take you on, I just want to rip that rule book up and say, we have the solution here. It just takes us all working together to make this possible. That's my passion. And that's why I'm doing things like joining membership masterclasses that are going to teach me how to build a membership community. And it's a win-win, because the women that are part of this are already thriving. The transformations that we're seeing from women is incredible. Not only are they thriving, that they're then going to help other women thrive too, that don't necessarily have access to this type of setup. So we'll make our content free for those trauma-related women. We might have, we've got so many women in our sphere that would probably and potentially even run their own, trauma-related courses for those women. So we've got it all here. I'm just the conduit that's going to hopefully piece it all together and, make it happen. So that's it in a nutshell. Sorry, that wasn't my succinct explanation at all.
It really doesn't matter. What's coming out, Sarah, is your passion. That's what resonates with everybody. I didn't know your story. I didn't realize that you were I don't know what a statistic of domestic abuse. This show will become a podcast, and I think it's episode number 30. My very first podcast was with Cheryl Sharp, and she is also a victim of domestic abuse, and she started her podcast to bring that story to women. And she shared some statistics with us, and I can't remember what they are, but it's shocking the amount of women that are in domestic abuse. And there's also a load of men in domestic abuse as well. And for you to stand up and shout about it and to help other women is commendable. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. But I think that's one of the important things that I want to change, is the narrative around that, is being called survivors. And also, I really want to change the statistics that are available. Let's start talking about the amount of women that are abused, and let's start talking about the number of men that are perpetrators of abuse, because that's the issue that we need to try and fix. It's a societal issue rather than always putting it on the woman. That's something I really feel strongly about, but that's a conversation for another day.
No, it's not, because your group is for women, but what can I do? How can I help? How can I get involved?
Just being part of the conversation. I mean, you have been, right? When I had International Women's Day, I reached out to you and said, I need to get more guys in the room. And you were there. You changed your diary to fit, to be there, which was just an incredible support. You shared it on LinkedIn. Anything like that, any support, we are desperate to look at our funding situation, because the next stage of growth for us will be to look at whether we can get, we will get angel investment, funding, sponsors, anyone that can just spread the word. So it's just trying to let women know that you're £30 a month to be a member of 6 Degrees. one day when we have all of this figured, it's not just going to be your membership. That's going to be enabling the growth of this global community to help other women. So just spread the word. Just doing what you're doing today, you're just allowing me a platform, and just telling others. And if you come across any companies that you think would be greatly aligned with us and they have a budget and you think they should be aligned, just flag them up. A conversation's a conversation. If it doesn't go anywhere, that doesn't bother me, because you don't know who they know, and so on and so forth. So yeah, you're already being a great support, Ashley. It's just just spreading the word is enough for us.
Bless you. Bless you. Thank you. And that's the beauty about networking and social media and stuff like that. We've got loads of people on the chat, chatting away and stuff like that. So hopefully they're going to go and share this. They're going to tell other people and things like that. So tell us a little bit more about how we become members of 6 Degrees, and what we get for our £30 a month, and how we can, if we see somebody that we maybe think is going through domestic abuse, what sort of things can we do to help? There's quite a few questions there, sorry.
Yeah, so membership is super easy. I mean, we do recommend people come and try us out. So non-members can come to, I think we have 3 events a month at the moment. That's in-person events. So we say, come along, try us out, see if you think we're a good fit for you. And then we say you can try up to 3 events. So we do a breakfast, a lunchtime event, and an evening, plus other bits and pieces. So we say come and try 3, with the premise being you can try all 3 if you want to, find out which one suits for you, or whichever one you prefer. And then £30 a month gets you access to this community of, at the moment, it's 101 women, I think, that we have as a membership within 10 months. Woo! And we have our masterclasses, we have our own members portal, so you can connect with each other, activity feed, you can book all of your events, you can join our sub clubs. We've got a swimming group, which we're kicking off tonight. Nikki's on the call. She's going to be one of our group leaders for that. We've got our Mindful Mondays, which is basically every single Monday we drop a bit of positivity or realness around women's issues into your inbox to try and kick off your week with brilliance. We are just about to explode our digital offerings. So on Thursday, I'm meeting with our event specialist and Emily to run through how we bring even more online events to our membership. We know that that's working really well. We did a pilot on the 1st of March, which was for female founders, and we had like 60 people attend. So we've just got a wealth of women that want to give their expertise, and we want to shine a line on that. So that's us in a nutshell. You can, if you're a member in Exeter or wherever, you're basically a global member. You can go to any event anywhere. It doesn't matter. You can connect with whoever you like. You can have coffees. You can do whatever kind of you feel you want to get from that membership. You can promote your services if that's what you want to do. What was your next question? I can't remember. There's something about memberships. And then about domestic abuse. So we're not set up right now to kind of tackle that issue. We will be announcing that we have we've got 2 charities of the year that we're about to announce. One of them will be no surprise, that it is very closely linked to domestic abuse. So I'm looking to collaborate with that charity in a pretty significant way. So that would be my first port of call. And then, quite honestly, it's just a case of, if you are going through that, just try and make people aware that can give you support, and, just look at what's available to you on a local level. There's lots of great organizations like SAFE. They're all coming out of my head now. Now I'm being asked the question. But yeah.
It's always the way. It's always the way. Yeah. Feel free to put any links you want on the on the chat here, and all of your other links will be on the podcast. So anyone listening to this again on the podcast, they'll be able to click on any of those links and get all of those as well. So we've almost come to the end of our 15 minutes.
What? Already?
No, I know. Have you got anything exciting coming up? Anything that we need to be watching out for? Anything that you want to shout about?
Well, we've got Bristol on the 17th of May. We are launching officially That's our kind of membership launch on the 17th of May. That sold out in 48 hours, which was just absolutely incredible. We have, I think, 6 or 7 events already planned for Bristol, and it will follow the same. So 6 Degrees works well. We theme every month. So the premise being that will globally roll out. So we're all learning collectively together at the same time, which we just love the idea of that. So it will follow exactly the same theme. I would imagine Bristol is going to be an absolute hotbed for us. The appetite it's literally blown our mind. I was in London last week starting to bang the drum for 6 Degrees and held 2 events there, kind of intimate events. So we're ambitious and we're going places. So if you are a growth orientated woman, or you know somebody that could be seeking friendship, they want connection, they're sick of working from home and not seeing anybody, and they just want to be around like minds and be vulnerable and get in their swimsuit and chuck themselves in the sea, we're up for all of it. So we just want to hear from you. We want to grow this movement at pace, and we want to make a real difference, not only to your lives, but to hopefully women who have been through domestic abuse. So that's all I would like to say, really.
Love it. I wish we had longer. I really wish we do. And
so do I.
And I loved how you touched on the children as well, because that's important too, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, my kids are living proof of what's possible. You know, when everything aligns, and everything to get me to this point has taken so much work. And like I said, Ashley, it hasn't stopped. You know, I'm now entering another phase of a slightly different therapy, and I've instigated other things in my life because I know that the healing is going to take a long time and that I need to do the work. But my kids have never been so happy. They've never, you know, the level that they're thriving is just incredible. So I just want to be that beacon of hope for people, that it's possible to have a happy, fulfilled life. But it's going to take some work to get there. And surrounding yourself with the right people is definitely part of that.
And that's the thing, isn't it? If you're in a community like 6 Degrees, you can't help but be inspired and you know, thrive and flourish like you're doing. So no, well done. What a great story. What a great story. Thank you. If anyone's got any questions, please pop them in the chat, and we'll pick Sarah's brains. But just before we do that, I'm just going to go to next week a second and work out who's coming on next week. I have got, hopefully it's in here, I've got Helen Johns. She's coming in to talk about dementia. She's written a book all about her experience with her mother. So looking forward to having a chat with Helen next week.
Awesome.
I'm not sure if anyone else has got any questions, but it's been lovely to have you on today. There's loads of people on as well. So thank you all there. I've got one final question to ask you.
Go on.
What advice would you give your 16-year-old self?
Oh, what advice? I would say always tune into your gut instincts, because you're never bloody wrong.
I love that.
And self-belief is so important. So those two things. And what I will say is, my 16-year-old really knew this was going to be my path, because I can distinctly remember, I think I was younger than 16. I was 13 years old, and I remember wanting to be an entrepreneur. I just didn't know what it was called, because we weren't taught about those kind of jobs and aspirations. So just keep the faith, keep moving forward, do it bit by bit every day, and it all adds up to a huge accumulative effect. And I'm proof of that. So
you are living proof of it, aren't you? Absolutely living proof.
Going.
Oh, Sarah, it's been a delight. You're going to have to come back. Yay! But in the meantime, thank you very much indeed. Thanks everybody for watching. You. Cheerio now. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.
You get out what you put in.